Are you struggling with weight issues and overeating, aware that you're eating too much and somehow you never feel full and you find it very difficult to resist the urge to eat? Welcome to Shapefixer. I'm Andrew. I am a nutritionist. I had a history of weight issues until I fixed my diet, and my hormones that stop me from eating when I don't need to eat now work correctly. So what are we talking about? We're talking mainly about leptin. Leptin is the main satiety hormone. There are others, but this is the most important satiety hormone that literally makes you lose emotional interest in food. It is produced by your fat cells. So the more fat you have stored in your fat cells, which is a spare energy supply, the more leptin is produced, and leptin stops you eating. You literally lose interest in food. So if you are overeating, something is wrong with that system. Now, there are things that inhibit leptin, that prevent leptin from working. So what are they? The most common one is insulin. Insulin is a growth hormone. It's also a hormone that assists with the transportation of sugar from your blood into your cells. And it has, in fact, about 100 functions in the body. But when you eat sugar in any form, so carbohydrates generally, when you eat starch, it can be bread, rice, pasta, potatoes, or sweets and candies and cookies. When you eat sugar, your insulin level in your blood goes up because your insulin needs to assist in removing the sugar from your bloodstream, because having high sugar in your bloodstream is incredibly dangerous. So you get a big surge of insulin moving that sugar out of the blood one way or another, into the cells or back to the liver to be converted to glycogen. And when your insulin level is up, it blocks your leptin from working and telling you that you're not hungry anymore. So you think you are hungry, which is why when you eat a diet high in carbohydrates, you tend to put on weight because you just eat too often and too much. So insulin is the first culprit if you are finding it very difficult to control your eating. But it's not the only thing that inhibits leptin and makes you think you're hungry when you're not. In addition to insulin, fructose. Okay, now fructose is a type of sugar. It's commonly known sometimes as fruit sugar, which is a bit misleading because it's not the only sugar in fruit. Fruit does have glucose and sucrose in it as well, but it's commonly found in fruit. And fructose is incredibly sweet. It's fructose that makes table sugar taste sweet, in fact. Glucose does not. Fructose is used in a lot of processed foods. High fructose corn starch is used in processed foods to sweeten the food and make it more appetizing, especially low-fat foods where the fats are taken out. The taste is then terrible, and so fructose is added. So we eat more fructose than we realize, and fructose itself blocks the action of leptin, which again leads you to overeating. Alcohol has the same effect. When you have alcohol in your blood, your leptin doesn't work. So when you go out on a bender, you end up eating an extra meal late at night after you've been drinking. That's why the alcohol is interfering with the action of your leptin. Then there are chemicals in plants, in vegetables, called lectins. Okay, not to be confused with leptin. So lectins are these anti-nutrients that you find typically in legumes like beans and peas and peanuts, and they also inhibit the hormone that tells you when to stop eating. Stress. You ever noticed that when you're stressed, you go straight to the fridge? That's because your stress hormone, cortisol, rises in your blood and also impedes the action of leptin, leaving you thinking that you're hungry. Your body's not hungry, but your mind is hungry because your hormones are not working properly. And that's because of the stress hormone. If you have bad sleep or you're sleep deprived, your stress hormone also goes up. So you have exactly the same thing. You have elevated cortisol, which impacts your leptin and makes you eat. So if you're having really bad sleep, you eat more. That's similar to having lots of stress. And then the last one, which is unfortunately becoming really common, is blue light. And when we say blue light, it's really, I guess it's white light, what we sometimes see it as. So LED lights, the light on your mobile phone or on your laptop, LED screens and fluorescent lights are blue lights. They also inhibit the action of your leptin. So if you do have white LED lights in your house, you can get yellow LED lights now, or you're looking at your screen late into the night, it tends to make you want to go and have another snack and eat too much. So look at that list. I'm going to write them again down below the video here and just see which of those might be applying in your life, because of course it may be more than just one. But the main thing for you to do is to get rid of the sugar. All right, thank you. Please give this video a like. Please subscribe to our channel and please share this with anybody you know who may be having some of these issues.